Damn. So how I'm going to be breaking up these reviews from now on is basically talking about the overall plot, the pros and cons of the episode itself, and character development. But character development will obviously go before pros and cons, and then it will eventually be my conclusion. So we start off this episode with the continuation of Kai and the little circus guy going on this rail sequence. Now, mind you, the sequence of the roller coaster that they are riding on is also on fire, and they eventually are flung out of the car onto the ground. Kai then tries to leave the little guy in the fire, which he's trash, obviously, and he tries to get him off of his leg. So then Kai waves his arm over the fire, and he realizes that it moved. And then he tries it again, and it moves again. So then we, as the audience, realize that he can control fire, which was actually pretty cool. And a little after that, Kai then proceeds to save the little guy. Not really, and he meets back up with the group itself. They're surprised that he has fire powers. He's trying to also fly, which is actually pretty cool as well. Then they proceed to go back and retrieve the Shobo staff that the tree told them to get from the previous episode. Now, mind you, the people that stole the staff were another 3 kids that also were supposed to retrieve the staff and were on essentially the same mission, which makes me think that they're in some type of sequence or some type of... But Mira also brings up a good theory that they may be being tested in some degree, but I'll get to that a little later. So they eventually stumble upon this abandoned town. They're looking around and stuff like that, and they eventually find this room with a light on. Now, the smartest thing for me to do in this situation, if I was in the show itself, is to look through the window first. But they proceeded to just open the door and go in. So, obviously, the kids that stole the staff from the previous episode are ready to fight, and they slam them against the wall with the whole table. So then they basically have a lot of dialogue. They realize Kai has fire powers, and they actually like it. Obviously, we then begin to figure out what are the other 3 names of the kids. The one that can fly, that has the pink and purple hair, is Vanessa. The person that is a speedster or run fast, his name is Skeet. And the person that I believe has telekinesis, I was stuck in between if he had telekinesis or he could control Earth. But I'm leaning more towards telekinesis now, but his name is also Reeve. And they seem pretty sketchy. We also learned that Kai has a crush on Vanessa, and we can clearly see that Vanessa is manipulating Kai. And like I said in my intro, Kai is a simp. Go on this date to fly, basically, and they fly around for a little bit of time until they run into the sky, or they try to go to the moon, and they run into some type of panel or some type of dome, and Vanessa is knocked out and they're falling. Now, based on how they landed, Vanessa should have had a concussion and Kai should have had at least a broken bone or 2. So eventually Mira and Adam are running outside and trying to see what's going on because Kai screams. Kai tries to carry Vanessa out of the cemetery, but obviously not all the way. The undead then come out of the ground and grab Mira's leg. Adam is there to help, and they're basically fighting the undead at this point. Now, they're calling for Kai's name because they need help. Vanessa then tells Kai, "Don't leave me. Please don't leave me here." And then Kai's just thinking to himself, well, should I not leave? You have an obligation to your team. Who the hell is she? You just met her. So we don't care. So eventually Kai then gets it into gear and he goes and helps his team. And they pretty much fight off all the zombies and he sets them ablaze. He then goes back to Vanessa to see if she's okay. And Mira and Adam are walking towards. Kai then runs over a tombstone that opens up the ground under Adam and Mira, and they fall in and it closes. Now, Vanessa then proceeds to tell Kai, or gives him a proposition that he should join their team. Obviously, we know she has interior motives. I'm not stupid. I'm pretty sure the audience isn't stupid either. The only person that's stupid in the situation is Kai simping ass. And then we cut back to Mira and Adam falling through this hole of some sort. Mira then says something that also piqued my interest that I'll get into later, which is, we shouldn't have survived that fall. Which makes sense, so that also makes me think that they're in some type of stimulator of some sort. They eventually start looking through the tunnels of the cemetery and they find that there is a left path and a right path, and Mira asks Adam, which way should we go? Then Adam proceeds to have a mental breakdown, which honestly I didn't really care for. Adam has been annoying me since the last 2 episodes, so I'm not too fond of him currently right now. And Mira just tells him, like, without you, we wouldn't have been safe or anything like that, which is still stupid because they still have to work as a group. So you guys wouldn't have been able to get anywhere without being a group itself. And then they meet this old man because I believe they turn right or somebody starts walking out of the right tunnel. And that's where the episode ends. So now we're on to character development. Obviously, you see that Adam has a mental breakdown. We learn all the 3 kids that took the staff itself. Kai has fire powers, which is actually pretty cool, so he's not useless, I guess. But something I also realized is that Reeve, Vanessa, Skeet, Adam, and Kai all have, I would say, active powers. But Mira's kind of the only useless one. And it's just making me think, like, is she going to get some other power? Because currently right now, she's really the only useless one in the entire series currently right now. Even though she's done a bulk of the work and has done a lot of things, I just feel like she's not getting much shine when it comes to her powers. I don't know if she's going to get powers in the future or in season 2, so that's what I'm looking forward to as well. But now that that is out of the way, we can switch over to pros and cons of the episode. Mira brings up a few good points that I will actually give her points for problem solving. You know, I'm all about problem solving in really difficult situations, and when you have 3 or more people under your disposal, you should be able to think through anything. A con of the episode is they don't have no goddamn compass. And I don't know how they're getting to some of these places without a compass. There's no way I'm looking at a map and assuming that that's where I'm at and I just need to go this way. Like, I'm pretty sure you either need to know which way you need to go or else you're just gonna be lost. That's pretty much it. I don't have any conflicts with this episode. I thought it was very entertaining. I learned a lot. There was some character development. There were some new things that happened. Sequences were different as well. I felt like there was more problem solving. Switching to my conclusion rating, I would rate this episode maybe a 4.5 out of 5. And that's a pretty high rating for the most part. But that's all I have for you guys today. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Or I should say pop that button and subscribe. And remember that it's not just about a conversation, but an open conversation. But I will check you guys later.